Okay, looking at two-step equations now. So all two-step equations are things that are going to take 2 steps instead of 1 step. But we still follow inverse operations. Okay, so opposite operations as we go. The only thing we add is we're doing BEDMAS, but we're going to do it backwards to solve these. Okay, so there's nothing new here that you have to learn. Everything we're going to do, you know already. We just have to take our time and do one at a time. So if we take a look here, we have our BEDMAS, but we're going to do it backwards. We're going to start at the bottom. We're going to look for subtraction and addition first. Well, look here, we have an addition. So we're going to move it over to the other side because we want the letter or the variable all by itself. So we have a plus 3. So when it goes over, it's going to become a minus 3. So what's left over here is a 2x equals 7. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do everything I change in a different color. Right? So that's going to equal 2x equals 4. Now here we have a multiply. So we have a multiply by 2. So when it goes over, it's going to divide by 2 when we move it over the other side. So we get x equals 4 over 2. So we're going to be left with x equals 2. Okay? The key thing you'll realize when we get to this point where we have the coefficient and the variable on this side and just a constant on this side, you always divide by the coefficient. So we take over the 2. All right, so let's practice another one. So erase this stuff. Okay. Let me pull these down so we can see them. Okay. So let's go through these equations here. So first thing we look at here, we have 3x minus 1 equals 5. So we have a subtraction since we're working backwards. So we're going to take care of this first. So we have a minus 1. Oh, shoot, that should be. We have a minus 1 there. So it should turn into a plus 1. Okay, so we end up with 3x equals 5 plus 1. So that's what we've moved over, which leaves us 3x equals 6. Now we have a 3 here, which is a multiply 3 times x. So we have a multiply by 3, which is going to turn into a divide by 3, which we're going to end up with x equals 6 divided by 3, which is going to leave us with, I'll go over here, x equals 2. So we moved over the minus, it became a plus, and we moved over the multiply, which became a divide. So let's take a look at the next one here. So we have q over 2 plus 3 equals 7. So we have a addition first. We have this. So let's move that over here first because we're working backwards. So this is going to equal q over 2 equals 7. And we had a, let me erase my old ones. We had a plus 3. So when it goes over, it's going to become a minus 3. So that's going to leave us with q over 2 equals 4. Now we have this here. This here too we need to move over. Since we need our letter, our variable all by itself, so we need to move this over. So right now it's a divide by 2. So that's going to become a multiply by 2. Which is going to equal q equals 4 times multiply by 2. So our final answer is going to be q equals 8 as we work there. Now, next one, we have 4 minus 2y equals negative 8. Now you may think we have a subtract here because of this, but we don't. This is still, we want to leave this on one side, okay? So it's negative 2 times y here. So we're going to move this here. And right now it's a plus 4. So realistically, if we were going to move it over, we're going to move this over to the other side. It's a plus 4. So when it's going to go over, it's going to become a minus 4. So let's rewrite our equation. So we still have the 2y over here equals negative 8 minus 4. Right, so that will give us negative 2y equals negative 12. So now we have to get rid of this. Well, that's the wrong color. Blue. Now we have this to get rid of here. Now right now that's a multiply. So let's move it over. So if it's a multiply by negative 2 on this side, it goes over the other side, it's going to be divide by negative 2. So we're going to have y equals negative 12 divided by negative 2. So y equals 6. Okay. Now you could say, how do I know I'm right? Well, how we know we're right is we could substitute what we think y, what we know y is now. So I could have this equation. I could draw a little line down the middle. I want my left side to equal my right side. Let's plug in my numbers I know. So negative 4, negative 2 times 6 equals 8. We don't need to do anything with the 8. So 4, negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. 4 minus 12 is negative 8. And you can see that this side equals that side. So we know we're right because the number we plugged in there is the correct answer. So let's take a look at this one. Negative 6 equals negative y plus 2. All right, so the first thing we need to move over is this 2. So if we have a 2, it's a plus 2. When it moves over, it's going to become a negative 2. Oh, I should have done that in red, because we're moving this over to the side. So that's going to leave us with negative 6 minus 2 equals negative x, which is going to leave us with negative 8 equals negative x. Now you'll say there's nothing in front here, right? But there is a negative here. So remember, it's actually negative 1. So it's negative 1 times x over here. So if we want to move that over, we want to get rid of that negative sign since we just want x, right? It's a multiplication right now of negative 1. So it's going to become a divide of negative 1. So on this side, it's going to be negative 8 divided by negative 1 equals x. So therefore, x is going to equal a negative divided by negative is a positive. And go from there. Okay? So hopefully that helps you out with two-step equations, and you can go do some practice questions.